Hi guys and welcome back, and before I go further I would like to thank Sony for inviting me to one of their Sony experience centers just to try out some of their new products that they have. So today I'm checking out the Sony WF1000XM4. Yeah, it's the WF. I think I've got the WH. The Sony and their naming is sometimes a bit bonkers, but they've got the products that make up for the naming. But anyway, I'm trying these out, and their build really does, I think, match up to the headphones that I have. And this is just the case, so it's gorgeous. But before I get to this, let's see what the unboxing is like. So this is an already opened pack, but the box that they use is really nicely done. It's all recycled material, so it's nice to see that Sony is paying attention to the environment. Everything from the outer casing to the inner casing, the inner paper, everything is environmentally friendly. So you get the little tray that the headphones sit in, and in this you get plus 2 more sets of earbuds. So the mediums come on the earphones, and you get a set of small and large as well. And on the other side of this you get the USB-C cable that you can charge these up with. Something to keep in mind, these earbuds in particular, Sony has done something different here. They have not stuck with the conventional silicone ear tips. These are memory foam ear tips. So the inside does have some silicone material, so they slot onto the earphone easier. But the memory foam seems to be quite comfortable. I'll only know for sure once I try these on. But they seem nice and soft, so as if they would take the shape of your ear canal. And if you look into the rest of the casing, you get your standard literature and all, which I think most of us don't really go through. There is of course a small user manual printed on this, which is interesting to go through. All images, so it's nothing to read through, you just learn how to use it pretty quick. But what is interesting here is you get a free trial for the 360 audio that Sony provides. And if I'm not mistaken, this is free for about 4 months. It's an interesting experience. They do have specific apps that you can use to experience this 360 audio. It's worthwhile trying it out in those 4 months to see if you like that kind of audio, to see if you want to commit to it. They are still expanding when it comes to this kind of format, so it's interesting to see what they're doing. So without any further ado, let's have a look at the XM4s. So the case by itself has a very similar finish to that of the WH1000XM4s. It's a black matte finish, and it feels good to the touch. It's not going to slip out of your hand very easily. It's a bit grippy. You do get your USB-C charging point here, so you can charge it with the provided cable. These do have wireless charging, and they work on any Qi wireless mat. So if you do have a charging mat at home that you use for your phone, feel free to use this to charge your earbuds. But I think the lid always has to be closed when you place it on the charging pad, so it only charges when this is shut. Cool, so let's see how the earbuds are actually in the flesh. These actually look like the WFs. No, these are the WFs. These kind of look like a shrunken down version of the WH1000XM4 because they've got so many similarities. Like near the microphone on the XM4, it's got this little oval there. It's got the same thing right here. See, the little oval is just like the XM4. And similar accents. It's got the same coloring, got similar finish. It's very well put together, this earphone. It's a sight to behold. Tiny little Sony print on the side is also really well done. You get what you pay for. Whatever you're shelling out for this, whether it's on discount or not, you're getting a value product here. And of course, they magnetically snap into the case like most wireless earphones. There's the indication LED light is right here, so you can, every time you open it, it lets you know if it's fully charged. So in this case, I presume it's between 80 and 100%. And the case sounds a bit snappy. It's not got a muted tone that I would have preferred, but then again, there's no rubber on the outside to do that. But it does click very firmly, and it's got a nice sound to it. So anyway, now moving on to pairing. Let's see how to pair these. I don't know if it's going to be straightforward, but let's have a look. Sony, oh god, there's a whole lot of Sony products here, so I don't know how do you put this on into pairing mode? Okay, so after a little struggle, I couldn't find it through the Bluetooth section. So I've gone into the Sony headphones app, and it shows up just below my own XM4s, but in this case the WF. So I'm going to register with this here. Place mobile close to each other to authenticate. Allow headphone to manage. Okay, allow. Connecting. Bluetooth pair. This takes me back to the original XM4 setup. It's very similar in the same headphones app. It's much the same. Audio 360. Latest software version. Improved stability of music playback under specific conditions. Improve the voice quality when using calls under specific conditions. So I won't be able to test this for phone calls and whatever else, because that I usually do in my in-depth review. I will avoid doing the software update. Maybe when Sony sends me a pair to review, I can take some time for my in-depth review. So I'm going to put these on and see how these fare with noise cancelling and whatever else. So they're in, do they? So there you go. Those are the XM4s that are in here. Okay, so in the ambient sound control, you have ambient sound, you have off, and you have noise cancelling, which is that. So I'm just going to switch over to noise cancelling. It also has a automatic wind. Oh, it's constantly going to ambient noise whenever I speak. It's got that same feature that the WH-XM4 has, speak to chat. I'm switching that off because I don't like it. So anyway, the noise cancelling is on, and let me just put on this fan to see. It's weird because I can see this fan moving, but I can't hear it doing its thing. A little bit of wind noise is coming through with the active noise cancelling, but it's doing a pretty good job. I think this might be at par or might maybe slightly better than the WH-XM4. I don't quote me on that. I'll have to do a back-to-back to know for sure. So if you have a pair of WH-1000XM4s, it's much the same. You can use the Sony headphones app to set up your headphones. It's got the whole analyze ear process. It's got the whole equalizer inbuilt into the app. It also has DSEE Extreme. These are basically the WH-1000XM4s in a smaller form factor. So this you can put in your pocket and travel, whereas those are obviously more bulky for backpacks. So now these do have touch control options that you can customize everything to. You can also control all this for the left and right bud within the app, in the Sony headphones app. Tap for noise cancelling ambient sound toggle on the left earbud. Continuous pressing is quick attention. On the right earbud, single tap is play pause, double tap next song, triple tap previous song, and long press launches your voice assistant. So there's quite a lot of stuff you can do with these. And these also let you control the volume. So I'd like to see how that works, because on the WH series you slide to do it. With this, I think it's a series of taps because it's too small a surface to be able to slide up and down. Okay, so I figured out this touch thing. You have to go into it and customize your options. So right now I'm in playback mode and I've gone to the right earbud. So it's the single tap, double tap, triple tap and so on. So when I tap, well, it plays or pauses your music. I can't change the volume. So now when I want to change the volume, I need to go into the function option here and select volume control and say done. So now my right earbud, if I tap it, it doesn't play pause. So ideally you need to set your play pause on one earphone and the sound on the other. So for example, I'm playing a track. If I tap it, the volume goes up on the right earbud. Now if I want the volume to come down, I press and hold. So I mean, it's cool that you've got the option. It is a bit, I'd say it's a bit inconvenient, but you've got a much smaller surface to play with. So the fact that they've incorporated this is amazing. You can really customize these earphones to really be your own. So it's worthwhile fiddling around with the app to see exactly how you want these earphones to be set up, and then you just leave the settings as is. Cool. So now let's see what they sound like. And while I'm listening to these, I can honestly say that I think I prefer foam tips to silicone tips, because these tend to breathe a bit. Silicone tips tend to make you feel a bit warm, especially when, well, summer's around the corner. So these foam tips just give a sense of breathability, but at the same time the seal is really good. It's really snug and tight. That's the whole point of the foam tip. It sort of contours to the shape of your ear. Okay, so on a sound front, I'm not going to be tweaking with any EQ. I'm listening to these absolutely flat as I do with every other review. So I'm on one of my go-to tracks for my first impressions review, Easy on Me by Adele. There's a little bit of sibilance in her voice. I don't remember my WH-XM4s doing this, but there's very slight sibilance in her voice here. But it's beautifully full-bodied. The piano sounds full. There's nothing missing there, and the bass, of course. I'm listening to these at about 50% volume. I don't think anything more than that is really necessary, especially with the noise cancelling on. I'm listening to U2 after a very long time. I'm listening to Journeys faithfully, and it's beautiful how these are handling the cymbal crashes. It's very soft, supple. It's not piercing, it's very detailed and soft on the ear. At no point I think is anybody listening to these going to face fatigue issues. Imaging on these is clean. It's really well defined with the few tracks that I've heard so far. I'm not too sure what the driver size is in this just yet, but these do a really good job at what they're meant to do. I expected them to be a bit thinner and tinier sounding compared to the XM4. They're not at par obviously with that to a certain extent, but their delivery is very welcoming. These really sound nice. So now, as much as I'd like to keep going on listening to these, I don't think I have the time to do that. But these are a beautiful set of in-ears. I think these might be the best in-ears I've ever heard, considering I'm usually testing stuff in a much lower price bracket. Speaking about price, these go for about 24,990 here in India, which is the MRP, but they are selling these at about 19,990. So there's already a decent discount on them if you're interested to swoop in and get these. On first impressions, I think these things are quite stunning for their price. They have really terrific noise cancelling. I think Sony's been doing a terrific job when it's come to their noise cancelling headphones lately, and these sound pretty nice as well. So if you're somebody who doesn't want to have headphones around your head when you're traveling, or around your neck, or in a larger carrying case, these most likely are the earphones for you. So me doing an in-depth review on these specific earphones is entirely up to Sony whether or not I can get those demo pieces. But thank you to Sony for having me at your experience store to review some of these products. And remember to like and share if you like the content on my channel. And thank you for tuning into Paul's POV for some sound advice.